My name is Lesley, and we're doing a lamprey dissection. I am going to be representing the circulatory system, the reproductive system, and also the respiratory system.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and we did a lamprey dissection today, and I'll be talking about the excretory system and the digestive system as well.
Hello, my name is Mauricio, and I'll be talking about the notochord, the outer skin, and the nervous system.
Let's start off with a little bit of information about the lamprey. It is in the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, and the class Petromyzontiformes. Now, as you can see from this chart, it is one of the most ancestral vertebrates, and once again, it does not have a vertebrate but a notochord, as we'll explain later, and it also has for its mouth, it's no jaw, but a round mouth with teeth that will help it suction the animals.
So we have the lamprey here. I'm going to show you the basic sides. We've got the ventral side right here. You can see it's lighter than the top. That's for camouflage because the sun's going to be coming down. It's going to camouflage with the dirt in the bottom. Okay, we've got the dorsal side where we have two fins, 1 and 2. Caudal side with the back fin and the head. We've got its 2 eyes right here. 1, 2, which are pretty proportional with its body. We've got its mouth here lined with a bunch of teeth that we'll show you later. We've got its gills right here. You can see its holes.
Oh my, you did cut the liver. Crap, that's not a good thing.
Alrighty. And in the mouth, we also actually have some things called papillates. And these are actually sensory organs. And when it latches to the fish, it can feel with these little things right here. In the back, we also have this external kind of smelling hole right here, which leads into the olfactory sac, which we'll talk about later as well. So as we showed you earlier, this is the outside, and we're going to show you the inside. This right here is that little hole that I'm going to show you. It goes inside into the olfactory sac, where this organism uses this for smelling. It's quite big, so it should have pretty good smelling. And then this directly leads to the brain, which is right here, this area, okay? Let me show you a diagram of the brain really quick. Okay, so this is a close-up of the brain. And we have the cerebrum up here, which is pretty good size. We have the pineal gland. We have the pituitary gland back here. Let's go down to the optic lobe, which is also pretty good size for this organism. And then the cerebrum, which is actually, unfortunately, small, which means this organism doesn't have very good movement control. All right, and then down here we've got the medulla oblongata. Now, the brain as a whole is actually pretty primal, and that's why researchers use this use it for simple brain function to study that and see how that works. Let's go back to the organism. I'm going to show you right here the notochord, which you can see the brain was right here. Let's show you the notochord, which is all this right here. Now, usually all vertebrates form the notochord when they're just the fetus and then develop it into the vertebral column, but this organism actually keeps this and does not have a fully functional vertebral column. And then on top of that, we also have the spinal cord, which runs along the top of the notochord.
So this is our lamprey cut in half, and we're going to start talking about the digestive system, starting with the mouth, of course. So this is the mouth, and I mean, it only has really teeth. Lampreys don't have jaws, so they use these teeth to attach to their prey since they're parasites. And so that's where the digestive system starts, from the mouth, and then we move down. Any food that it grabs onto, it goes directly from the pharynx into the esophagus, which is right here. And then from the esophagus, it delivers it to the intestine, which is this long kind of tube thing. So the intestine is where nutrient absorption and digestion takes place, and it's also the site of emulsification, digestion, and absorption of the fats. So right here, this green stuff is the liver, where it metabolizes carbohydrates and fats that the lamprey takes in. It also produces the bile and bile salts. And the gallbladder, which is right under, it's very hard to tell, the liver, it secretes the bile. Stores the bile, I mean. It doesn't secrete it, it stores the bile and eventually delivers it to the intestine as well. Next, we'll talk about the excretory system, which only really consists of the kidney. because it's a really big main organ of the lamprey. So the kidney is this, like, it looks like the wall, but it's not. This is the kidney, and it extends even from under the kidney, the liver, all the way down. So the kidneys, what it does, it filters out waste from the blood, and it removes hydrophilic substances such as ions and water and other nitrogenous waste. And the kidneys are a big play in osmoregulation. This is important for the lamprey because it spends half of its life in fresh water and then the other half in salt water. And the kidneys excrete an extremely dilute urine to maintain its ionic balance in its body. And that's important as well when it's living in salt water because the urine is actually very, very concentrated.
In the lamprey, the gill lammae are the primary sites of respiration or gas exchange and excretion, and also play a crucial role in osmoregulation. This right here are all the gills. In the adult lamprey, the respiratory pharynx is well separated from the esophagus, which leads to the intestine. The pharynx or respiratory tube conducts water from the mouth down the 7 pairs of valve-lined internal gill slits. Each of these in turn opens into 7 pairs of gill pouches. Each unit of the gill consists of highly vascularized gill lammae arranged in the anterior and posterior hemibranchs, and together are called hollow branch. The two hemibranches are separated from one another by a gill slit. Gill pouches are separated by membranes called internal septa, and they run out. If you run like this through here, you will be able to see that it comes out through the other side where this is. But basically, for the lamprey, when they're not feeding, they take in water through their mouths and they run it through this, and they take the oxygen from it, and then they run it back out through the 7 slits that are right here. Right here you can only count 6 of them, which the other one is somewhere underneath here. But when they are attached to their host, they can no longer use their mouth, so they are forced through osmoregulation to use these gill slits right here in order to keep breathing. And the reason that they can't keep doing that, like you would say they would use their gills to keep breathing the entire time, is because they do muscle contractions to bring the water in and out of their bodies, and it would be too tiresome or too energy consuming to keep doing that over and over again. So they only do it when they have to feed, and other than that, it just goes in through their mouth and comes out through the gills. So we're trying to explain the circulatory system of the lamprey. This right here is the heart, and it's located anterior to the liver, which is right here, and this is the other half of the heart. As you can see right here, it has 2 chambers. The other half of this right here, this is part of this half, and what it does is the deoxygenated blood drains from the liver into the hepatic vein that's connected to the heart, and it also from the head into the other vein that's connected to the heart, and the heart pumps the blood into the capillaries pump it into the gills right here, which reoxygenate the blood, and then they get pumped into the ventral aorta, and it pumps it throughout the whole body. So right here we have a model of a heart that most closely represents the lamprey. It's actually a fish heart, but what I wanted to show is that it has the 2 valves connected to the vein. The difference between the fish and the lamprey is that unlike fishes, the cardial veins in the lamprey do not form a renal portal system or pass through the kidneys. So for the fish, the heart will help it like filter, but with the lampreys, it does not. It just pumps blood, oxygenated, deoxygenated throughout the body. So, but you can see the 2 valves and chambers right there.